I'm Chris Avina with American Outdoors, and today we are here with the owner of Skope Industries. Started out as
General manager.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Tanner Kochevar, and thanks for taking the time to speak to us today, Tanner.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about Skope?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for having me on, Chris. We're excited to talk about where we came from and where we're headed. We started with Skope about 10 years ago, and it's been a perfect storm in the sense of how smartphone cameras have come along for us. Batteries, obstacles that we had to overcome early on, but now as everything has improved, we've been hitched our wagon to that smartphone star, and things are going really well with Skope. The original idea was, to be able to capture those memories, pictures, video, being outdoors, out hunting. I talked with Cheston and Tracy, the owners of Skope, and how cool it would be to, see some of our grandpa's footage from, say 50, 60 years ago. So our motivation there is, to be able to kind of capture those moments and, allow our future outdoorsmen to kind of relive that and yes, see us in our prime, if you will. So
how'd they actually come up with the concept? I mean, the cell phones are changing so quickly. How'd they come up with the concept for that?
Yeah, so the concept, we had been messing around with point and shoot cameras at the time, little handheld Canon cameras, and building attachments for that. And about that time, the iPhone 4 had come out, and the cameras, they were just starting to get, good enough that you could get a decent sized picture, print it out if you wanted to. But we just took it from there. It was, as simple as, we took an old protective phone case, attached our adapter plate to it and slid it over the eyepiece. And it was like magic, there's your screen. And now you can take pictures, video. And from there, it's definitely gotten more complicated. But we started really with social media. That was when, Facebook was starting to really grow. And for a new business with very little money to spend, I was kind of a backstory on that. I was the first full-time employee for Skope. I moved down to Beaver, Utah, and for about a year, I was the full-time employee. I did the YouTube videos, I answered the phones, I built the cases, until we got busy enough, and then we brought on some more help. But social media was a huge component of that. We saw it become cool to take pictures of, a big buck or big bull and share that. And you started seeing people getting excited and sharing that, and then wanting to capture those themselves. You no longer needed a $10,000 camera setup, just your smartphone, a phone scope, and then a binocular spotting scope. And you were able to get those, those far out images, and really, bring those in close. So it was those components, the smartphone cameras getting better, each year. It seems like there's a leap in quality. And then social media, at the time it was free to advertise there. You didn't have to do sponsored ads or this and that. And that was really our springboard that launched Skope. And then we started understanding advertising to retailers, getting Skope elsewhere. But it's been really exciting. We're really proud that our products are made in the US. And that, hearing the stories of other hunters, I captured my son's first harvest on film, thanks to Skope. For me, wow. That's the top, that to be able to relive that, that's awesome. That's what we're shooting for.
So you can actually, your case actually fits over any phone. It's made to each phone, and it actually attaches to either your rifle scope, your um, crossbow scope, your binoculars, your spotting scopes, and you can actually take pictures or video close up for the magnification of each optic, and get as close as you need to get on moments that we would have never before been able to take pictures of.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's made it a lot more accessible. Without having to have the giant telephoto lens for your camera. And we work with, wildlife viewers, birding. We work with a lot of different tour groups in Yellowstone, folks that are out watching the wolves and the grizzly bears. So it's with the phone scopes for everybody, even to the point of using it at a professional baseball or basketball game, or at your kid's soccer game and in the bleachers. And now you're able to get some up close video of them, out running around. So there's a lot of possibilities with phone scope.
Now you now have an application that would connect to your GoPro.
We do. Excuse me. Yeah, the GoPro, I like that, especially for when it's really if it's crappy weather, raining, snow. As good as the GoPros are with their waterproofing, you can, just slide it right onto your eyepiece, and you don't have to worry about, your camera getting damaged, and you can still get those pictures and video that you're after.
Now, I think that's amazing, because a lot of action cams, in my own experience, you get pretty good video, but once they're beyond a certain point, the quality is not that great.
Yeah.
Now with your application, you can zoom in on whatever you're videotaping or taking pictures of, and your quality is even better.
Agreed. Yeah. And GoPro cameras, they're also getting much better. We're just finishing up our Hero 9, the GoPro Hero 9 plate, or adapter, I should say. So that should be ready here in the next month or two. So if we do have folks looking for that attachment, keep an eye out. We'll be releasing that here soon.
Well, you have a product that the applications are really endless, and the situations you could use them for, not just hunting or birding or your kids' sporting events or things of that nature. The applications are really endless of what an outdoorsman can use it for. And it don't even necessarily have to be for an outdoorsman. Could be for just about anybody.
Absolutely. We've gotten some great shots from folks that are traveling to national monuments, Mount Rushmore. We've got some really cool up close shots of that using the phone scope. So
it's funny you say that. I'm planning a trip to Mount Rushmore this summer.
Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing them. Yeah, it's grown to a lot more than we expected. That's for sure. But we do take some credit, but a lot of it, the smartphone, social media, those have been some big proponents. So if you're looking to start up an idea or a company, those are definitely, social media is huge. You've got to be a part of it, whether you're for it or against it. It definitely is part of branding and building a brand that people trust.
Absolutely. Well, Scoped Industries has evolved, and you're always coming up with new innovative outdoor products, more of which we'll speak about in a minute. We're going to take a quick break here and acknowledge some of our sponsors, Phone Scope being one of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. We're happy to help.
Underwood Ammo, always always quality ammunition, standard of excellence. Me personally, that's my preference of ammunition that I use. And of course, Hunt of a Lifetime. We're going to see a quick commercial from them.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
Okay, and we're back.
Awesome.
Okay, now Scoped Industries has really expanded, and it's not just phone scope anymore. Now
That's right.
You have Pyro Putty, which has different models, different applications. You have a new lighter, rechargeable lighter. You just constantly coming out with great products for the outdoors. Let's start with the Pyro Putty.
Sure.
How'd that come about?
Yeah, so Pyro Putty, that came about actually from someone from Will, who's also a Beaver resident, small town, southern Utah. And he'd been using a version of Pyro Putty for a few years with his scout group. And he brought us the idea 3 years ago. And I mean, the fact that it's waterproof, it floats, it's non-toxic, and non-combustible, and unlimited shelf life. So it's an ideal fire starter for a bug out bag. I keep some in my backpack at all times. I've got it in my truck at all times. Just knowing that, it's not going to expire. You're always going to be able to get a fire started with it. Gives you a good a sense of security for sure. The blends at the time, we only had the one blend, and we started working on just some different applications. So now we have our summer blend, which is it's a little bit thicker putty. So when it starts warming up, it's still going to be in that putty form, and you'll be able to pull that out. And what's really cool about Pyro Putty is that it is semi-tacky. So pull it out, attach it to a stick or the underside of a log, expose the fibers, and light it up. And a quarter-sized ball will burn for 12 to 15 minutes. So that should be enough time to, get damp wood dried out and be able to get a fire started in most situations. From the summer blend, we found that, below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, the summer started to get, it started to kind of set up. It was just harder to work with. So you really kind of have to work it out of the can. So we built the winter blend, which is it's just a thinner blend. We think of it kind of like oil and viscosity. So the winter blend's a little bit thinner, and that'll stay pliable well down into the negatives, negative 15, negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. You're still able to pull that piece out, get a fire started. Those are our two main blends. Then we did the Eco Blend, which is all natural, has a little bit of citronella in it. So it, can serve as a bug repellent. And then from there, we were looking for a blend that would be for high wind situations, where it's, really windy, tough to get a fire started. And that's where we came up with our ultralight. It's similar to the summer blend, but we added more of the cotton fiber just to help get that fire going, no matter the situation. So those are our outdoor blends. And since then, we've introduced a charcoal starter, competition charcoal starter that they're now using in the Steak World cook-offs. That was something new this year.
Wow.
I didn't realize competitive cooking was such an event, and it is.
now you're talking my language. I fired up my smoker this weekend. I smoked some ribs for the first time this season.
Awesome.
competition barbecues is a big deal all across the country.
It is, yeah. We just had our group, the Smoking Texans. They're based out of Texas, and they just competed at the Steak Worlds. So we're branching out into that avenue now with Pyro Putty, and then we have our home use blend, which has a cinnamon scent to it. So that'll use in your fireplace at home, gives you a nice little aroma in the house, and get your fire started a lot easier and safer, than saying gas or some sort of lighter fluid.
Yep.
Just drop that in there, light it, and you're off and running.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you always carry it in your pack. I do as well. There was an incident where someone I know got lost in the woods, and it was snowing out. And he got turned around, and he lost his hat, he lost his gloves. When you get lost in the woods, and you start to panic, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Pyro Putty, if he had it with him at that time, could have really saved his life. I mean, if we didn't find him, it could have been a lot worse. But
Sure.
yeah, it was. That's something that could really be a lifesaver, and you should always have it in your pack at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And for igniting the Pyro Putty, like you mentioned, we have our dual arc lighters that are rechargeable. We have two versions now. We have our original dual arc, and then we have our elite dual arc. With that elite lighter, we added a small compartment in the bottom, so you can keep your Pyro Putty in the bottom there. You have your lighter. It's a nice little lightweight, compact fire starting kit. The lighters, they are waterproof, so if you fall into a river or something, you need to get dried out, pop that open, light the putty, and get all your equipment dried back out again. We also have our ferro rods. We've got a mega and a compact, which we're redesigning this year. The compact rod now is going to be a little bit beefier, and so it's got more surface for you to strike and get a good spark on there and get that lit.
Yeah, the smaller ones are a little harder to handle.
They are.
And it's kind of hard on the hands.
Yeah, it is. And especially if it's not something you've done a lot, it takes a little while to get that blade at the right angle and to be able to get that ferro rod and get that struck. But it makes it a lot easier. Our rods are all covered in a protective coating. So if they get wet, it's not going to eat away at the material. So all you do when you get the rod, just take a strip off. Just take a strip off of this and then just use that surface to light from there. And you'll always have something you can count on when you need a fire.
One of the things I really like about the rechargeable lighter is if in the event you do fall in a river, you fall in a lake, and you need to get warm, the fluid, there's no fluid to get wet. You're always going to be able to get a light out of it.
Yep, absolutely. That was the one thing, you have your Bic lighter and you're shaking it, trying to hear if there's fluid in there, or, a butane lighter. But having that charged up and knowing that you have, about 300 strikes, depending how long the strike is for, you're going to get a lot of fire started with that lighter. No problem.
Absolutely. Well, what do we have to look forward to on the horizon? I know you guys are always doing R&D. You always have something in the works. What should we expect in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. We are working on some new products, some new lighters. Again, we're kind of fascinated with those and different applications. We're in the final process with our flashlight lighter, and that will have a compartment for Pyro Putty and an LED flashlight on the other end. Same principle, waterproof construction, rechargeable again, and then a lighter or an LED flashlight on the other end. We're working on a really heavy duty compact butane lighter. So it's got 3 ports where the butane fuel will come up through, and it'll get anything lit. We had a lot of requests for guys, wanting a cigarette or a cigar or cigarette lighter. That's going to be an awesome pickup for them. It lights cigars in a hurry. So it's a cool little product. That's what we're working on right now with Pyro Putty, product wise. And then we are always looking for new retailers, trying to expand into that space. So folks aren't just having to rely on online orders. They can go to their local shop and pick some up. So that's where we're headed this year.
Okay, great. Always looking to expand as all of us are. And,
Sure.
but I think overall as an industry, I think COVID really had a positive effect in a lot of ways for manufacturers. A lot of online sales and things of that nature. It opened up the B2C a lot more.
It did. And I'm glad to see things at least starting to get back to normal here in Utah. So people can head down to their, Sportsman's Warehouse or local retailer and grab some Pyro Putty or phone scope there. But we'll always take an online order, and we try and ship within 1 to 2 business days. So you should have it within a week in most cases.
Okay, well, as of now, the NRA convention is still on. I expect you guys will be there.
We're planning on it. Absolutely.
I'm planning on being there myself.
Awesome.
Where can we find you online?
Sure. So you can head to scopeindustries.com, and all of our companies are listed there. Phonescope.com, and that's SKOPE. You can order your phone scope products there and accessories, and pyroputty.com. Head over there. We've got plenty of inventory, and we're ready to ship. So
okay, well, I
ready
definitely
to get everyone outfitted.
I use all of your products. I can attest to them. Love them. Keep them in my pack at all times. Never know when you're going to need it. Need it fishing,
right.
Hunting. You're out in the woods. You're camping. You want to start a quick fire and do a quick barbecue. It's I'm a big fan of them. So I appreciate your time. We look forward to the new products coming, and I'll see you at the shows.
All right. We'll see you then. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks again.
You bet. Thanks.